Hey, welcome to Hooper's Radar. On Friday, one of the craziest NBA games happened between the Los Angeles Clippers and the Sacramento Kings. Not only did Russell Westbrook make his debut, but this game went to double overtime. Let's talk about it. So far, since the NBA has returned from All-Star break, these games have not disappointed, let alone the game between the Clippers and Kings. This was a much anticipated game leading up because Russell Westbrook would be making his debut, and a lot of us wanted to see that. He ended up with a pretty solid debut. Just to point out some very notable performances before I get in depth with how this game went, Russell finished with 17 points, 14 assists, 5 rebounds, 7 turnovers, and 6 fouls, which fouled him out late in the game. Kawhi finished with 44 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. Paul George had 34 points, 5 assists, 10 rebounds with a steal and a block. Norman Powell and Batum were huge off the bench, with Norm having 24 points and Batum having 19 and 8 rebounds. They both made many threes for this team. For the Kings, Malik Monk had a nuclear night off the bench with 45 points. Fox was also amazing with 42 points, 12 assists, 5 rebounds, and 5 steals. Sabonis also had a solid night with 20 points, 4 assists, 10 rebounds with a block and a steal. So if you guys can tell, there were a lot of notable performances and guys that scored a ton of points. High-scoring games allow for high-scoring individual performances, as this game finished with a score of 176 to 175, with the Kings barely winning. Aside from the numbers, let's talk about how the game went. I have some notes I wrote down while watching. They may or may not be in order, but these are the things I saw when watching the game. Sabonis was controlling the rebounds a lot. Russell Westbrook did a great job of pushing the ball and driving and kicking to shooter for threes. Speaking of threes, Nicholas Batum and Norman Powell were automatic from 3 in this game, and both had great games off the bench and clutch shots too. Russell also set up Kawhi and Paul George very well. You saw the chemistry between Russ and PG on display. Paul George in the fourth quarter was a different breed. He had 3-and-1s with 2 layups that were very contested and this really clean mid-range shot he hit. Kawhi was cooking like crazy with so many dribble combos into mid-range shots. He had a very clutch transition spin move into a mid-range shot. That one was just super clean. Despite the incredibly high score, both teams were truly locking defensively and made stops, but the shot making was just crazy. The amount of threes that were going up were also crazy. De'Aaron Fox played great defense throughout this game. He even took home the Kings Defensive Player of the Game award, that chain that you guys see in post-game at the Fox Arena. De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk were also so clutch when the game mattered most. Malik was the one that sent the game to overtime with a 3, and Fox had a lot of clutch plays to either tie the game or get the lead during overtime. It also just seemed like Fox was getting to the rim at will. Nobody was really able to stop him. He got to the rim so many times or took a little step back mid-range that was water. Down the stretch, specifically in the second overtime, the Clippers just seemed very fatigued, and the Kings out-hustled them and forced some turnovers to take control of the game. I believe there was 4 turnovers in the last minute of this second overtime on the Clippers. This was just truly an incredible game. It felt like a playoff game with how locked in both teams were, and the energy they were playing with was just crazy. Well, those are my notes on this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about this game. It was definitely one of the crazier games in the NBA, and it really shows that this half since the All-Star break has just been crazy. There's been so many great games, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one. So for more content or recaps like this, please make sure to like and subscribe to stay on the radar for all things basketball.